It is 14 minutes start to finish. Today we're going to learn all about the fundamentals of rebounding, and we're going to be focusing on the health bounce today. So before we begin, I know you're brand new to rebounding. You just got your rebounder. You may be coming back from illness, cancer treatments. You may just want to do this for lymphatic detoxification, and this is the perfect video. So today, I'm using the Leaps and Rebounds Rebounder, Bungee Rebounder. I will link it above in the description box below. If you have a small deflated ball, I'm going to ask you to grab that because we're going to use it. If you do not, I do not want you to worry. Now, let me run through a couple fundamentals. You're brand new. You just got your rebounder, right? Make sure your space all around you is clear. Always do a check of your bungees or your springs. Make sure your legs on your rebounder are nice and secure. Just give a good look over of your mat. Make sure it's not frayed and that it's in good standing. Now, it is your choice to wear a good supportive pair of tennis shoes or not. I don't have any health issues that would be limiting me from, going barefoot, so I'm going to go barefoot. If you've just had back surgery, you have ankle issues, you have knee issues, hip issues, you have a tendency to supinate your foot, which means you have a tendency to roll on the outside of your foot, or you have a tendency to roll on the inside of your foot, you may want to try wearing a good pair of tennis shoes. All right, you guys, we are going to get started right now. All right, welcome. Foundational Rebounding 6 video series. So we're going to put this ball in between our knees, and we're just going to start with a beautiful health bounce. We're going to press down into the mat. We are not going to have our feet come off the mat. I'm going to talk you through the health bounce. I know you've heard about this. Everybody's saying, when you begin rebounding, begin by doing the health bounce. And yes, this is a health bounce. So I want you to focus. You have a slight bend in your knee. You have a slight bend in your hip. You are engaging your pelvic floor. So you don't have your tailbone pointing to the back of the room. You don't have your tailbone pointing to the front of the room. So again, what we call neutral pelvis is you don't want your butt to be pointing to the back of the room or the tailbone, and you don't want to be your butt cheeks jutting forward. So you can go back, you can go forward, back, forward, and settle in between the two. Now that's what we call neutral pelvis, but that might be a little bit too much for you, and I don't want to scare you. So right now I just want you to think you have a wall in front of you, you have a wall behind you, you're not sticking your tailbone behind you, and you're not tucking your tailbone under. Now, if you have that small deflated ball, you're not squeezing it, you're just holding it in between your inner thighs. That engages the pelvic floor. The pelvic floor, which are muscles in the pelvis, they hold our organs in and up, literally. So let's run through this, starting from my feet. I'm not rolling on the outside of my foot. I'm not rolling on the inside of my foot. I'm not rolling too far forward on my toes or too far back on my heels. I'm pressing down nice and equal between my right leg and my left leg. And both feet, I'm not having my feet come off the mat. Pressing down into the mat. That's where the lymphatic detoxification takes place. I have a slight bend in my knee. You don't want to extend your knees like this. I'm showing you, don't do it, because you're in full extension of the knee and you're going to hurt yourself. Slight bend in the knee. Now then we're going to come up to the hips. Now we're not leaning forward like this. We're not jutting back like this. We have just an ever so slight, call it forward flexion in the hip. So that's going to allow us to utilize the weight in our legs and press down. Now again, if you have the ball, you're not squeezing it. You're just holding it in between your inner thighs, and that's going to help engage your pelvic floor. Again, what is your pelvic floor? It's a whole bunch of deep muscles in the pelvis that support our organs. So some people say, Angie, I have a tendency to go, dribble and urinate when I'm rebounding. Well, we are strengthening your pelvic floor through this exercise. All right, so shoulders set back, down and away from our ears. Now you guys are continuing the health bounce. Remember, you just started. Right now, we are acclimating our connective tissue, our digestive system, our lymphatic system, our cellular system, and we're waking it up. We're detoxing right now. If you're not used to rebounding, I don't care if you're an athlete. You need to start with the health bounce. I'm in the best shape of my life, and trust me, you want to start with the health bounce. So, again, you're not rounding forward in your shoulders, and you're not back like this. Visualize you have a wall in front of your chest. You have a wall behind your chest. Now, the most important thing right here is that you are pressing down into the mat with both feet. Can you do that for me? So that right and left leg is pressing down nice and equal. Again, I'll start with the feet. You've got to get this down before you can progress. Don't roll on the outside of the foot. Don't roll on the inside of your foot. Don't come too far forward on your toes and too far back on your heels. Your knees, you have a slight bend in the knees. You have a slight bend in the hips. You are pressing down into the mat. Shoulders set back, down and away from your ears. All right? Now, if you need to hold on to a stability bar, hold on to a stability bar. Now let's talk about the feet. If you have a tendency to roll your foot or roll on the inside of your foot, you may want to consider wearing a good pair of supportive tennis shoes in the very beginning until you build up the ankle, knee, hip strength. All right? Can you do that for me? So, some people like to put their hands on their hips. They like to feel that press down into the mat. This is called a closed kinetic chain health bounce. We're not taking our feet off the mat, guys. The work is always in the press down. All right? That's where we get that gravitational force, where it helps that lymphatic system, is in the press down. Beautiful. Now, we have this ball in between our knees. So what I want you to be mindful of right here is feel your pelvis, feel the muscles that are engaged. You're not squeezing the ball, just by holding this ball. Right now, body awareness. Go into the pelvis. Feel the pelvic floor engagement that this ball in between your inner thighs just gives you. Now, we're going to take that ball away. Feet are still hip width apart. You still have your proper body mechanics from your feet, knees, hips, upper body. Now notice, is your pelvic floor as engaged now versus when you had that ball in between your inner thighs? Now, to engage your inner thigh or to engage your pelvis, I want you to think that you are just very ever so lightly squeezing a quarter in between your butt cheeks, or you're trying not to go tinkle. You're trying not to go potty. It's not a big squeeze. This is another way to engage your pelvic floor. So when you begin rebounding and doing further classes, you're not going to leak so much. And I know that's a huge problem. So think about you're trying not to go potty. You want to leak, but you're not going to. So you're just giving these muscles and the pelvic floor region about a 10% squeeze. And you're gonna feel that pelvic floor engage. I'm a comprehensive Pilates and yoga certified instructor, and I've been teaching rebounding classes for 26 years. Formal education, physical therapy background, social work. I never did much with my social work. Licensed massage therapist. Yeah, functional movement specialist. So you guys, you're coming to the right place. My physical therapy background is enough to really get you going here. I know what I'm talking about. All right, so we're almost done with the press down, and we're gonna do some stretching. Now, I firmly believe in my workouts. We are truly body, mind, and spirit. So our stretch song is gonna be called I Am Unstoppable. I'm not gonna talk much because I really want you to soak in the words. You're new to rebounding, and I want you to soak it in. So what are we thinking of this health bounce? Closed kinetic chain health bounce. So always remember, from your feet to your knees to your hips, engaging the pelvic floor to the upper body. All right, so I guess we're not done. We have one more song. All right, so we're gonna stop the health bounce, and we're gonna just start weight shifting. So we're gonna just start going side to side. And I just wanna start, actually, let's just do a little bit of weight shifting. This is our last song. And the song is not called I Am Unstoppable. I want you to know you are unstoppable. You're strong, you're fit, and you're very powerful. And you need to know your body is capable of amazing things, my friend. All right, so if you want to know more about this foundational series, you're going to go into the description box below, and I'll link the videos as I get them out to you. All right, let's do a nice stretch. Now, it's very common that the calf, I hear people say, Angie, my calves are so tight. So I want you to take 1 foot back. I really want you to press down into the mat for me. So it does not matter what rebounder you're on, spring-loaded, bungee. This is an all-inclusive beginning foundational workout series. Let's take that forward, and let's go ahead and let's just stretch our calf, that other right there. Beautiful. I can't believe I started teaching rebounding, you guys, when I was 25. I'm urban rebounding certified. I'm jump sport certified. I have my physical therapy background, comprehensive Pilates, yoga, personal trainer, group fitness, TRX, resistible, you name it, I have it. All right, so what we're gonna do here is we're gonna take our arms forward, and we're gonna take that left hand, we're just gonna rotate it behind. Spinal rotation is very important. So you can have your feet just hip width apart if you want. This is a beautiful start, you guys. If you're brand new to rebounding, throw this video on twice a day. Do this for a week or two. Acclimate your body to the health bounce before you move further, or try my entire series. So you guys have options here. 14 minutes, start to finish. All right, I want those shoulder rolls back, down, and away from our ears. Beautiful job. All about that health bounce. If you can't even get that down, you shouldn't progress, because the health bounce is the most foundational move you can do for the lymphatic system, digestive system, cellular system, on a cellular level. So you want to make sure you get this down. Try this. Remember, think, what are my feet doing? My ankles, my knees, my hips, my shoulders, and am I rounding? Am I pressing down into the mat? It's a lot to get. Your body's gonna love you for it. One more each side. Remember, you are in control of your health and your overall well-being. We're in this together. All right, deep breath in, inhale. Breathe into the deepest part of the lungs and exhale one more time and we're all done. Beautiful inhalation. And a beautiful exhalation, shoulders back down and away from our ears. Now listen, if you're new and you are on Facebook, please join the private Rebounding for Health and Fitness group. We are 38,000 members strong. I answer most questions. I help you figure out what rebounder you may want to get. And it's just a beautiful group with tons of resources. Again, go in the description box to learn more about me. Today, I'm using the beautiful entry-level Leaps and Rebounds Rebounder. It's been such a pleasure, and I hope you join me for my other foundational rebounding series that I'm getting out to you in 2024.